Have you ever partaken in distracted driving? I am sure for the majority of you, the answer is yes. I personally know for myself, I can say I have. This is whether you've been in the car when someone is eating, drinking, or even worse, on their cell phones. Distracted driving is a world-renowned problem. According to the NHTSA, 660,000 drivers use their cell phones while driving. Today, I will caution you about the dangers of distracted driving nationally. In order to accomplish this, I will first talk about the prominence and effects of distracted driving. Then I will talk about the main source of distracted driving. And finally, I will talk about ways to avoid distracted driving. Let's get started by talking about the problems. There are two main problems distracted driving causes. First of all, there are far too many injuries, and second of all, far too many deaths. People are impacted by these problems on the daily. According to the Targeted News Service in Washington, D.C., nearly 10% of traffic deaths are caused by distracted driving. That's about 4,000 deaths that are completely preventable. This is all a result of distracted driving in traffic. How horrifying is it that 4,000 lives are lost each year in traffic due to distracted driving? These 4,000 deaths can be totally avoided. On an even larger scale, the U.S. Fed News Service stated that distracted driving was the cause of 18% of all fatal crashes. As shown by these statistics, distracted driving is a major issue, leading to far too many injuries and deaths. Now that we've discussed the problems, next, let's discuss why they are happening. There are two main reasons why all these problems are happening. First, there are distractors such as light, music, food, drinks. However, the main source and most harmful source of distracted driving are cell phones. Cell phones are playing a more and more vital role in our lives, taking over things more and more. According to the U.S. Fed News Service, a motorist using an electronic device is 23 times more likely to be in a crash. That is increasing your likelihood of being in a crash by nearly 25%, meaning that 1 in 4 people on their cell phones will get in a crash. How scary is that? As cell phones are taking over our lives more and more, they're putting our lives behind the wheel at risk more and more. Now that we have examined the causes, next let's uncover some solutions that will help solve this issue. There are many steps that can be taken in order to resolve this issue. First, we will look at the larger scale options, and then we will move on to what we can do personally on a smaller scale. The Targeted News Service states that being distracted driving will take a wholesome change in our driving culture. In order to make a change, there is going to need to be both large-scale and small-scale changes made. First of all, there is going to need to be more law enforcement. This is going to be a crucial step in limiting distracted driving. People should fear going on their cell phones while driving because if they do, they will end up ticketed. Cities and counties are starting to ramp up their police involvement with distracted driving. This change is going to make a real difference and already has started to. According to the U.S. Fed News Service, in the span of 1 month, the Naperville Police in Illinois issued 201 electronic communication device citations. This was a result of a call to action made by the Naperville citizens. The Naperville citizens participated in a distracted driving campaign, drawing attention to the many problems and dangers associated with distracted driving. Similarly, the City Council in Surprise, Arizona, approved the distracted driving ordinance penalizing the usage of mobile communication devices while driving. These larger scale solutions are crucial in order to seize distracted driving. If your town is not doing enough to monitor distracted driving, it is important to get your voice heard. Do what you can to make your city know that you want more laws enforcing distracted driving. As you can see with the Naperville police that started giving out more citations, this is obviously a large-scale solution that started out with the citizens wanting to be heard. On a similar note, each individual can take actions themselves to prevent distracted driving. A common solution and a very easy solution is to pull over while eating. Don't put yourself in the solution to be eating and driving. If you're going through a drive-thru, sit in the parking lot and eat. If you're driving and you really need to eat, pull over and eat. It is not worth it to be putting your life and other lives at risk just when there is such a simple solution. Another solution is to put your cellular devices in the glove compartment while driving. This will eliminate all temptations. Now that we see what some of the solutions can be, let's next wrap it up by reviewing what we have learned today. I showed you first the prominence and effects of distracted driving, unveiled the main sources of distracted driving, and I finally exhibited ways to avoid distracted driving. Today, my goal was to influence you to not partake in distracted driving. I really hope I can say that I succeeded. I want you to ask yourself this question again in 6 months. Have you ever been a part of or partaken in distracted driving? The answer from now on should be no. Not no with a question mark behind it, not maybe I could have. No. Do your part in putting an end to distracted driving. Thank you very much.